Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Manjila and my name is 33220045. I will presenting about English drama and the topic I choose is Greek theater. Greek theater, the earliest origin of drama, are to be found in Athens, where ancient hymns called dithyrambics were sung in honor of Dionysus. The earliest origin of Greek theater can be traced back to ancient hymns sung in honor of Dionysus, the god of theater, fruit, and fertility. These hymns were adapted into choral procession, with participants wearing masks and costumes. These hymns were later adapted for choral procession, in which participants would dress up in costume and masks. And Greek theater began in the 6th century BC in Athens with the performance of tragedy plays at religious festivals. The origin. Ancient Greece had a thriving theater tradition that lasts for centuries. Greek theater history dates back to at least the 6th century BCA and originally took the form of monologue-style plays with a single actor, with a second actor being added later and then third. Historical evidence suggests that the first plays to be performed were probably Greek tragedy plays, which retained the popularity for centuries, but which hit their peak in Athens at the 5th century BCA. The two other major forms of Greek theater were satyr plays and comedies, each of which played a specific role in Greek society, religion, and culture. And originally, festival honoring Dionysus took the form of choreographed dance performed by a chorus about an altar, an orchestra, or dancing ground. This evolved into performance designed to produce such a powerful rush of emotion that the entire audience achieved an intense communal emotion rush known as catharsis, which cleans and revitalizes the people. Catharsis became one of the hallmarks of performance of tragedy, a word that literally means god order, the god being the symbol of Dionysus, since this community was preceded by Dionysus as well, and since tragedy refers to a symbol of Dionysus, the worship of Dionysus was the most likely integral to the inception and performance of tragedy. Some have linked the rise of genre to an earlier art form, the lyrical performance of epic poetry. Others suggest a strong link with the rituals performed in the worship of Dionysus, such as sacrifice of gods, a song ritual called Triodia, and wearing the mask. Dionysus became known as the god of theater, and perhaps there is another connection, the drinking rites, which resulted in the worshippers losing full control of their emotion and in effect becoming another person, much as actors have to do when performing. And next point is the plot of tragedy was almost always inspired by episodes from Greek mythology, which we must remember were often a part of Greek religion. Violence was not permitted on the stage, as the death of character had to be heard from off stage and not seen. The earlier tragedies had only one actor who would perform in costume and wear masks, allowing him to impersonate gods. The earlier tragedy had only one actor who would perform in costume and wear masks, allowing him to impersonate God. Later, the actor would often speak to the leader of the chorus, a group of 15 actors, and all actor is male, who sang and danced but didn't speak. The actor also changed costume during the performance. Later, this would develop into musical interludes. However, in a play could have as many as non-speaking performances as required, so that plays with greater financial back could put on a more spectral production. And the 12 to 50 member chorus singing, dancing, and critiquing through the plays was a major distinguished phase of Greek tragedy. The chorus was held by some to represent the will and opinions of the society, as if the populace itself were on stage with the chorus, commenting upon and making sense of action. Many famous Greek dramatists were successful playwrights and actors and were responsible for major innovation in the form of tragedy. And this is example of the picture is example is the marks of tragedy mass Greek. And next is Greek comedy. The first indication of such activity in the Greek world became from pottery, where decoration in the 6th century BCE frequently represented actors dressed as horse satyrs and dancers in extravagant costume. Menander, also credited with helping to create different versions of comedy plays known as New Comedy. He introduced a young romantic lead to plays which became, along with several other stock types such as a cook and cunning slaves, a popular staple character. And the most famous comedy playwrights were Aristophanes and Menander. And next is satire. Satire, a word from the satires is sacred to Dionysus, is a term for a play that was performed to make fun of tragedy and lighten the impact of the tragedies the audience has just seen. And the satire is the third type of Greek drama that bridges the gap between comedy and tragedy. The the chorus of satyrs was always known to be jovial, bouthy, rustic, and roguish in the armor. The satire were odd and amusing creators who made possible a unique sort of parody of the typical tragedy. The hairy half-human satyr had the hoofed short legs of a goat, together with the goat's short horns and the tail and ears of a horse. The early tragedies had only one actor who would perform in costume and wear masks, allowing him to impersonate gods. The 12 to 50 member chorus singing, dancing, and critiquing through the play was a major distinguished phase of Greek tragedy. And this the example, it is the picture of theater of Dionysus Aulitus in Athens. And this is the part of the the stage of Greek theater. The orchestra, there are orchestra, theatron, parodos, and scan. And the orchestra, literally meaning dancing space, was normally circular. It was a level space where the chorus would dance, sing, and interact with the actors who were on the stage near the scan. Theatron, and the theatron, literally meaning viewing place, is where the spectators sat. The theatron was usually part of a hillside overlooking the orchestra and often wrapped around a large portion of the orchestra. And near the orchestra is scan, the scan literally meaning tent. The scan was directly in back of stage and was usually decorated as a place, temple, or other building, depending on the needs of the play. It had at least one set of doors, and actors could make entrance and exit through them. There was also access to the roof of the scan from behind, so the actors playing gods and others characters. And parados. Parados, it literally means passage gateways, are the path by which the chorus and some actors made their entrance and exit. The audience also used them to enter and exit the theater before and after the performance. Next is Greek playwrights. The first Greek playwright is Sophocles. Sophocles wrote 123 plays during his lifetime, but unfortunately only 7 have survived to this day. And Sophocles is the son of Sophocles, was a wealthy member of the rural deme, a small community of Hippius colonists in Attica, which was to become a setting for one of his plays, and he was probably born there. And Sophocles is known innovation, dramatic structure, deeper development of character than earlier playwrights, which further reduced the roles, the chorus, and increased the opportunities for development and conflict. And Sophocles won first prize in 46 BC at the theater competition, beating the reigning master of Athenian drama, Aeschylus. And Aeschylus, who dominated Athenian playwriting during Sophocles' early career, adopted the third actor into his own work. And Sophocles competed in 30 competitions and successfully won 24 for almost 50 years. Sophocles was the most awarded playwright in Athens. For almost 50 years, Sophocles was the most celebrated playwright in the dramatic competition of the city-state of Athens, which took place during the religious festival of the Linnea and the Dionysia. He competed in 30 competitions, won 24, and he was never judged lower than second place. And next, Greek playwright is Aeschylus. Aeschylus wrote around 90 plays, but only 7 remain preserved. And Aeschylus was the Aeschylus entered many of these competitions, and various ancient sources attributes between 70 and 90 plays to him. Only 7 tragedies attributed to him have survived. And about Aeschylus' background, Aeschylus born around 525 BC in Eleusis, a small town about 27 kilometers northwest of Athens. And next is Aeschylus was the first Greek tragedian and produced his first dramas in 598 BC. During the Aeschylus' lifetime, dramatic competition became part of the city Dionysius held in spring. The festival opened with a procession which was followed by a competition of voice singing, deeds, rams, and all culminated in a pair of dramatic competition. The first competition Aeschylus would have participated in involved 3 playwrights, each presenting 3 tragedies and 1 satyr's play. A second competition involving 5 comedic playwrights followed, and the winners of both competitions were chosen by a panel of judges. And next is his first victory of a theater competition was in 584 BC. Throughout his lifetime, he continued to write plays, and in 558 BC, he created his trilogy or Oresteia. And next is Euripides. Euripides, also known as the father of comedy and the prince of ancient comedy. Euripides was the youngest in a group of 3 Greek tragedians who were almost contemporaries. His first place was taken in 13 years after Sophocles' debut and 3 years after Aeschylus' Oresteia. He wrote 44 comedies before he deceased, but only 11 exist today. And Euripides is identified with theoretical innovation that have profoundly influenced drama down to modern times. Euripides is identified with theoretical innovation that have profoundly influenced drama down to modern times, especially in the representation of traditional, mythical heroes as ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. This new approach led him to pioneer development that later writers adapted to comedy, some of which are characteristic of romance, especially in the representation of traditional mythical heroes as ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. This new approach led him to pioneer development that later writers adapted to comedy, some of which are characteristic of romance. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Birth was the death of him. Again, words are few, dying too. Bird was the death of him, ghastly, grinning ever since. Up at the lid to come, in cradle and crib, at suck, first fiasco, with the first tutors, from Mimi to Nini and back, all the way, bandit back and forth, so ghastly, grinning on, from funeral, to now, this night, 2.5 billion seconds, again, 2.5 billion seconds. Hard to believe so few, from funeral to funeral, funeral of, he all but said of loved one, 30,000 nights. Hard to believe so few, born died of night, sun long, sun behind the larches, new needles turning green, in the room dark, graining, till fine light from standard lamp, weak turned low, and now, this night, up all nightfall, every nightfall, fine light in room, whence unknown, none from window, no next to none, no such thing as none, grabs to window and stares out, stands there staring out, stock still staring out, nothing stirring, and the back in the black face, gropes back in the end to where the lamp is standing. Was standing when last went out, loose matches in right hand pockets, strikes one on his buttock, the way his father taught him, takes off make white glove and sets it down, match goes out, strikes a second as before, takes off shimmery, smoke clothed, holds in the left hand, match goes out, strikes a third as before, and sets it to wick, puts back, Jimmy, match goes out, blood puts back glove, turn wind low, back away to edge of light, and turns and face east, blank wall, so nightly up, sucks night down, window lamp, backs away to edge of light, and stands facing black wall. Covered with pictures once, pictures of, he all but said of loved one, and frame and glass, pinned to wall with raving pins, all shapes and size. Down one after another, come torn to shreds and scattered, strewn all over the floor, not one, not at once sweep, no sudden fit off, no words ripped from the wall, and torn to shreds one by one, over the years, years of night, nothing on the wall now but pins, not all, some out with the wretch, some still pinning straight, so stand there facing blank wall, dying on, no more no less, less to die, ever less like a nightfall. Stands there facing east, blank pin pocket, surface Once while in shadow could once name them all. There was father, that grey void, that grey void, their mother, that other, they're together smiling, wedding dies, they're all there, that dry blood, they're alone, he alone. No, no, forgotten, all gone so long, come rip off, and turn to shred, sketcher all over the floor, swept up of the way under the bed and life, and left thousand shreds under the bed with the dust and spiders. He all but said, the loved one stands there, facing the wall, staring beyond. Nothing there either, nothing stirring there either, nothing stirring anywhere, nothing to be seen anywhere, nothing to be heard anywhere. Rooms once full of sounds, faint sounds, whence unknown, fewer and fainter as time wore on. Nights wore on. None now, none now, no, such thing as none. Rain some nights still slants against the panes are dropping gentle on the place beneath. Even now, land smoking through wick and through loud strength. Faint smoke issuing through fans in globe. Low ceiling stained by night after night of this dark shapeless blood on surface elsewhere, white once white. Stands facing wall after the various mention described, that is up nightfall and into grown and sucks, not in them already, in them all, not all night, all night, all night and night, up at nightfall in grown, in sucks, and after a moment to get his bearing grubs to window, faint light in a room unutterably faint, whence announced and sucked, still stirring out into black fuzz, nothing there, nothing stirring that he can see. Find light in room unutterably faint, whence announced and sucked, still stirring into black fuzz, nothing there, nothing stirring that he can see. Here those as if unable to move again, or not be left to move again, not enough be left to move again, turn in the end and gropes to where he knows the lamp is standing, things he knows was last standing, when last went out.